Welcome back. In this lecture, you are going to learn 10 amazing post strategies that you can start using right away. Now, as a disclaimer, remember, you need to be focusing on what's valuable to your audience. And also, you need to adapt each and every one of these strategies to fit your brand personality. So whatever you decide to use, make it your own. So starting off, strategy number 1, high quality product launch. If you've got an audience and you've built a great relationship with them and you're already making some sales, then when you have the next product that you need to launch, make it high quality and make the launch into a big thing, either by images or by using a carousel, and just display it in the best possible way. Because if you have potential customers who are buying from you, who are interested in what you have, creating a high quality product launch is just going to incite them to buy the next great thing from you. Let me show you what I mean. So this is Nespresso releasing their next capsule flavor for their coffee machines. And what we're seeing here is a very high quality image. It says, sometimes the most untamed landscapes, and this is done in a carousel so I can swipe, create the most refined taste. Swipe to the next. Papua New Guinea limited edition. So basically what we're seeing here is a commercial. This is the essence of promotional content, and they're putting it straight on Instagram as a carousel. This works because their audience is there because they enjoy their coffee machine and they enjoy their capsules. So making a launch, a high quality launch just like this, is only going to work if you have an audience who's already interested in what you have and who is buying from you. If you're still in the process of building up your audience, then you want to wait with this sort of promotional content. But when you can, go ahead and do it. In order to produce this level of content, you're probably going to need Photoshop, or simply go to fiverr.com and have someone help you make it really refined and really high resolution, just like this. Make use of the professionals. Strategy number 2, create a contest. Now, when you're creating a contest, you're asking your audience to join in and compete. So that means that they're going to be challenged by each other. So here's a very great example from Retro Supply. Now, Retro Supply is a business that is selling courses in Photoshop, Affinity. They're also selling different gear like pencils for artists. So they're basically an arts company with gear for artsy people and creative people. So the contest that they have created is a drawing contest, which is so clever, because if you're going to be selling pencils, well, why not create a drawing contest? It matches the niche, and this is how you need to think as well if you're going to be creating a contest. So what we're going to be reading here is the drawing prompts, win cool prizes. Again, you need to do this to incite the reason to actually join. Get featured, which means that the person or business that wins are going to get featured on their channel and get more exposure. And then finally, free tools and resources. We'll be giving away a free brush pack, textures, drawing tips and tricks, and more. And then it says, enter the drawing challenge through the link in our bio. We don't want you to miss a thing. So this is another strategy that you actually can use. If you want to hold your contest on your website for whatever reason, maybe you're looking to use your Instagram strategy to just drive them there and hold the contest there, you can. Otherwise, you would use hashtags. Something like join the contest by posting your drawing and using the hashtag, and then it would be hashtag RetroSupply contest or something like that, as long as it's a branded hashtag. So using contest is amazing if it makes sense for your niche. Otherwise, if it doesn't make sense, then the third strategy might be more for you. Strategy number 3. Giveaway. So the difference between a contest and a giveaway is that in a contest, you're asking your audience to perform. Like in the drawing challenge, they need to actually make a drawing and then submit it, and then they're going to compete. In a giveaway, all you're asking them to do is basically join in, and they have a chance to win whatever it is that you're offering. So that's the difference between a contest and a giveaway. Let's look at a great example of a giveaway. So Pellacase is a company that sells compostable phone cases. So that's really going deep in the sustainability niche. As you can see, they've made a reel with their giveaway, which basically is the old times video post, but there is no such thing today it's basically all reels. Now, watching it again, notice how simple this is. They're displaying easily that it's a giveaway. Even if you're not using sound, you see everything that you're gonna win. And by clicking on the giveaway, we can see what this is going to be all about. It says, to enter, these are the requirements. You need to like the post, follow Pellacase and Get Lumi, tag a friend below that you think deserves a wow, and that's the name of their product, and then share your stories for a bonus entry. Again, this is all about getting that user-generated content and getting activity on your account, because then all of your reels are going to rank better. And if all of your reels are ranking better, meaning the algorithm is picking it up, you're going to have more reach and your marketing efforts are going to be improved. So there's a lot of different ways to approach this. The only thing that they seem to be missing here is using a branded hashtag, but I'm sure they're doing well anyway, but I would be using that. So creating giveaways, just like we did in Canva, is very powerful for user-generated content. Strategy number 4, memes. Entertainment company really works for marketing purposes. It's all about grabbing their attention, holding that engagement, and then making the reach of all of your reels and all of your posts just extend to reach more and more people. So the modern type of marketing today is not just about promotional or educational content, it's also about entertainment and inspiring content. Let's look at an example. So this is from Business Homie, and Business Homie is someone who is offering mentorship to help other businesses grow. What he's done is he has posted a very simple yet very entertaining meme. And we're seeing someone here choosing between the 4 different options on a typical PlayStation controller: start a family, find a safe job, be happy with whatever you have, or start your own business and risk your whole life. So the sort of entertainment value that's being offered here is high. People are going to read it, people are going to laugh, and then they're going to see, does he have more stuff? And along his feed, if we actually enter his feed from here, we're going to see that he has a lot of educational content, a lot of entertaining content as well, but also educational content. And this is where he can start getting those followers and turning them into an audience, and turning that audience into potential customers by deepening the relationship, and then down the line turning those potential customers into actual customers. So the strategy of using memes is very powerful if it fits your audience and if it fits your brand personality. Let's move on. Strategy number 5, save the date. Now, save the date is a fantastic strategy for whenever you're holding some sort of important event. This is going to be especially important when we start talking about live and about you going live and actually gathering enough people to watch you when you go live. That's for later on in the course. But to get that following to watch you live, you need to create some content with a so-called save the date strategy. Just remind people that, hey, this is happening. Save down that date and come and attend, because there's gonna be some valuable stuff here for you. Let me show you what I mean. So this is from someone who's an expert in dog and teaches dog training classes. Now, she has done a very simple, we're going live tomorrow 12 p.m. It's an image. It's very clear what it's about because it has people. Remember, images with people perform 40% better, so this is very clever. It's very clear with the text that we're going live and then at what time it is, and to remind people you should come and check it out. And since she is very deep in her niche and her account is all about her dog training classes, it's very clear with the dog in the image as well what they're going to be getting from that class. Looking down, she has a lot of caption, a lot of text, which performs better, like we talked about earlier. So be very clear with what you're offering and write as much as you can get away with. So save the date, whether that is for an offline event in the real world, or whether it's for going live or having some sort of launch for an upcoming product, very effective to use in your posts. Moving on. Number 6, applicable tips. Now, educational content isn't going anywhere. It's one of the foundations for most businesses advertising on Instagram. And when it comes to applicable tips specifically, it is giving away something that people can do right away. If I were teaching digital marketing and I was giving search engine optimization tips, that can take some time to see the results. But applicable tips would be something where you might say, hey, do this instead of that, and you'll see instant different results. A great way to just bring on that quick value where people are going to say, hey, this is really good, I want more. Check out more content, become an audience, potential customer, and then down the line customer. You know how it goes. Let's check out an example. So this is Jordi Pieface, and she's a nutritionist and she's selling mentorships, and I do believe she's selling an online course as well. Well, she's making money being a nutritionist, and what she's offering here are some quick applicable tips. As you can see, hummus swaps, and this is done as a carousel. So I'm going to scroll the first one. swap this for this. And she's going to show that, hey, this ingredient has less ingredients, meaning it's going to be purer and better for you. Swap this for this. And this is very powerful tips. If you follow a nutritionist, this is exactly what you'll be looking for. And this is something that you can apply today. You can go to the store and just get that next option instead, and you can get a different flavor, knowing that it's also going to be healthier. And she's done this on several different images in her carousel. So this is a fantastic example of creating quick, applicable tips in a carousel shape where people can get some instant value. Let's move on. Number 7, use influencers. Now, using influencers is one of the greatest ways today to grow quickly on Instagram. However, most influencers are going to look to be compensated, so that's worth knowing. But still, I want to show you how applicable this can be, especially when you find an influencer who's deep within your niche, so that you can take part of that person's audience and make it into your audience and build a relationship, potential customer, and then an actual customer. You know how it goes. So let's look at a great example. So this is from Blundstone USA, and they are selling boots. Now we're looking at a reel here, but again, the line between video posts and reels are blurred today. So we're gonna see a little in between both. In the past, this would have been a video post, but today it's all just reels. So we're gonna blur that line a little bit. What we're seeing here is someone using their boots, just displaying that they're having fun and just connecting their brand as an influencer to your brand selling the boots. And that's an amazing way to say, hey, this is a good product and I recommend it. And an influencer is the definition of someone who has a deep relationship with their audience. If the influencer's audience is also your audience, you're gonna want to get that recommendation and partake in that audience. Now, if I check out the caption here, we can see that this influencer has a mention in here as well. And that's very important because that's one of the ways of showing up on their feed as well and getting their attention and just making the cooperation stronger. So the influencer is going to post these as well. They're going to tag the Boost company is going to tag her. They're going to exchange each other's audiences, and that's perfect if it is a similar audience in a similar niche. So use influencers if you have a budget that allows for it. Strategy number 8, ask a question. This strategy is very open for interpretation. You can do this as a promotional, you can do this as a form of educational, entertaining, as a form of inspiring. It completely depends on your question. It's also a great way for you to do some market research and find out what your audience are actually looking for, what they want more of, what they want less of, etc. Now, I actually want to show you a promotional example done by Lululemon. Let's check it out. As you can see here, Lululemon has done a very simple basic video that says, at Lululemon, what are you getting? I mean, this is as promotional as it gets, and it's also very quirky with this sort of old-fashioned typing and the language that's being used, basically being down with the kids here. Perfect, because it goes hand in hand with their brand. It caters perfectly to their audience. So again, this is one of the best examples of a brand adapting a strategy and making it suit their audience. Now, if you were in a different niche, you might actually have a more posh and a more high-class approach about the whole thing, but it's completely going to depend on what your audience is looking for and what kind of brand personality you have. But then again, if we look at the comments here, you're gonna see that they're going to be mentioning at Lululemon, when are the belt bags going to be restocked? We're going to see a lot of different mentions of Lululemon and their friends. And the more mentions Lululemon are getting, the more activity they have. The more likes they're getting, the more comments they're getting, activity goes up, their real exposure goes up. It's just a great way to get more engagements and get better results everywhere. Let's move on. Strategy number 9, summary of what's happened. Now, this is a fantastic way to build a deeper relationship with your audience, especially if you've been around for a while. Summary of what happens can go back 1 year, it can go back 10 years, and it can go back 1 month. By allowing people in behind the scenes and showing them, hey, this is the development that we're making, this is why, this is where we're heading, you just get a great way of sharing your story and connecting more to your audience. Let me show you a great great example. So this is from WowMakers, and WowMakers is a design company. They focus on user interface and user experience, and they've done a very enticing carousel. They have WowMakers year in review, just looking back 1 year ago. So by scrolling in the carousel, we can see great brands joined our elite clientele, showcasing again who joined in. We turned 10, they've been around for a while. Our team grew in widths and numbers. We're showing some faces here, we're getting personal. Inception of new design technology. Oh, they must be an authority in their area because they sound like they're really developing and adapting new technology here. Our trophy cabinet. Oh, prizes they won for their user experience design. So when you look down on it, what this is, it's really showcasing this is the development that we have as a business, and we're doing really well. And other people don't know about this, but now you know about it. And that's one of the essences of developing the relationship with your audience. You're letting them know things that others don't. But what you're actually doing in a sense is sort of bragging about your development, but you're doing it in a nice way to build a relationship, like you're talking to a friend and just sharing your accomplishments. So a summary of what's happened is a very powerful way of developing your relationship with your audience, as long as you do have an audience. Moving on to the last one. Strategy number 10, share user-generated content. Now, we couldn't end this lecture without actually talking more about user-generated content, because it's one of the keys of growing on Instagram. And we've spoken about content, but we haven't spoken about actually sharing it. When you share user-generated content, you are opening up for a host of possibilities of taking parts of others' audiences and others' audiences taking part of what you have to offer. This is a perfect way of growing, and you won't always need a contest for it. Once you're seen as an authority in your area, people are simply going to want to partake in your community as it is. Contests and giveaways will always be an amazing way to boost it, but you're still going to get a ton of user-generated content without them once you started growing a bit. And sharing that user-generated content, especially sharing it with people who already have a big following and a following that looks like it's gonna suit your business, that is a great way to grow even more. Let me show you what I mean. So here's a fantastic example of Adobe. You probably know about them. They have Photoshop, they have Premiere, and a host of others like Illustrator, etc. At any rate, they're the master of sharing user-generated content because their software is basically made to create things. And all that Adobe is asking is, hey, if you're gonna create things, why not share it? So we can share it and showcase it as well. So by showcasing others' work, they're showcasing the effectiveness of their own product. So if we scroll down before we actually look at the content itself, it says, Alexa, show me something relaxing. Dreamscapes by Daniel Medina 3D from Behance. So by mentioning the author is going to want to post this themselves and show, hey, Adobe actually showcased me to their audience, meaning that they're going to be sharing exposure and sharing audiences from each other. And here is some absolutely stunning images from this author done in a carousel format. So checking this out, it's absolutely amazing and breathtaking. And again, if the work from this author is amazing and breathtaking, it must be that their tools are amazing and breathtaking as well. Now also notice that they have tagged their own product Behance in here. So they're giving themselves on a different account exposure as well. Chances are you're only gonna have one Instagram account, but if you have different Instagram accounts for different products, you could tag them, but that's only for massive businesses. So those are 10 amazing post strategies that you can start using right away. Now notice we've been looking at different niches and they've all been adapting these strategies based on what their audience finds valuable and based on their brand personality. Great example of that was Lululemon. So you need to remember to do the same. Rewatch this video and make sure that you adapt the strategy to fit you and your audience. Okay, well done. See you in the next lecture.